celebration, I might have a toast with you. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, I'm terrific. We ain't taking no losses, we winning. Undefeated, check the percentage.
Yo, what's going on, everybody, man?
Hey.
We appreciate everybody that's going to tap in tonight, man. Listen, we are going to talk about, as y'all see on the title, right? We're going to talk about the easy road, so they say, ahead of us, right? Now,
So they
what I
say.
can say is, hey, one team that we are going to talk about today, they damn sure did look like buns today, man. I'm going to keep it real with you. They look like buns today. All right, so there is some stuff to talk about here tonight, man. But as y'all know, me and Day usually do rapping for days on Sundays at 9 o'clock. But being that the Vikings are playing tomorrow, Monday night prime time, Day is gonna be doing a watch party. So y'all make sure y'all tap
Yes,
in over
sir.
there tomorrow. But yeah, man, we just gonna do a little quick show for y'all tonight, man. Bring y'all some content, man. But go ahead, Day. Tell them how you feeling real quick.
Now, it's one of those days where you don't have the Vikings to stress you out. And so we get to watch Detroit get mollywopped. We get to watch the Packers lose. And we also get to see that if Justin Fields had gotten hurt earlier, we might have been in trouble against the Bears last week because this Division 2 kid, he looked pretty good. Now, granted, they're playing a mediocre team, but at the same time, you can't control your schedule and you can't control what the other teams are doing. So at the end of the day, the Bears looked okay. They
Yep.
looked okay, pretty good. But it's a good weekend for us. It's good anytime the Packers lose. It's always
Right.
a good weekend when the Packers lose. It's a better week. It's a perfect weekend when the Vikings win and the Packers lose. But it's a pretty good weekend if they lose regardless. So
It is. So, yep. It was definitely a good weekend so far, man. You know, to me, the weekend's not over until tomorrow night. Because I ain't gonna lie, the weekend it ain't over until the Vikings play.
you know
But
that.
so far, the weekend's been good, though. You know what I mean? We got to go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow for Christmas. For real. We're going to see what happens. Hopefully, the Grinch don't steal it. But,
Right.
hey, look, man, let's give a shout out to these people in the building, man.
Yo,
We
yo,
got
what up,
Richard
everybody?
in the building, man. Richard, appreciate you tapping in, man. He said, no such thing as an easy game for this team. Been a long time fan, or I guess, but not since 98. Hey, appreciate you, Richard, for tapping in, man. Packers Nation in the building. Bro, Packers game not going to be easy if Jordan Love can play right, but good luck to y'all. I have respect. Hey,
Appreciate you, man.
appreciate you. But yeah, man, Jordan Love damn sure didn't look good on that last drive, man. He gave it up, man. Shout out Papa Gary in the building, man. Papa Gary,
What's up,
sup,
Gary? How you
soulmate.
doing?
Appreciate you, man. We got Dave Luft in the building, man, from First and Skull. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to First and Skull, man. They also does work over there as well. Really good ship they got running over there, man. I mean, smooth as a baby's bottom. You heard me? Like, for real, man. They got a really good system going on over there, man. Very professional. I was actually watching the show the other day, man, with two old bloggers, I think they call it.
Yes,
Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, man. I mean, just great production, man. Just great all around show, man. So if you're not tuned in over there, which I'm sure most of y'all are, man, make sure you go do that, man. You're doing yourself a disservice. Shout out My Worthless Opinion, man. MWO, man. Appreciate you tapping into the building. We got Scolding. I see you, Brody. My boy Sodak, man. I see you, gang. What's going on with you, man? Skull for Life Bob in 1975. Not just the regular Skull for Life. That's Skull
there
for
you
Life
go.
Bob. You hear me? He gonna fade you up. He gonna fade you up. For real, man. We got Mary in the building, man. Appreciate
What's up,
you,
Mary? Hey, real quick on that Mary situation. This right here from Mary. So, Mary, I found a good spot for it. I gotta have that right on the screen, and kind of cover up the bar, kind of like yours a little bit, so to speak. But shout out to Mary. For sending me this along with the beer money on the bet that we had on the Kansas City Chiefs game. But shout out to Mary. And
shout out to Mary,
keep going with those prayers up for Mary. She's still kind of working back. She's better, but not quite where she needs to be. Again, I don't have too many details to share, but I'm just going to say, hey, everybody keep your prayers and thoughts up for Mary, please.
Absolutely, man. For sure. Sean the Bomb in the building. Appreciate you tapping in with us, gang. Man, you've been supporting heavy the past 2 weeks, man. I noticed you, man. Your support does not go unnoticed, man. Appreciate you, man, for sure, for everything you've been doing. I think I shout out my Sodak, man. Sodak in the building, man. Let me get you a Ric Flair just because I think I said you, but you know what I'm saying? We got my Skull Bro in the building, man. Skull Mafia. You heard?
Up,
man,
Mafia?
shout
How
out
you
my
doing?
guy, man. Shout out my guy, Skull Mafia, man. The Skull Broski. Never Too Steep. Appreciate you, Never Too Steep.
I like that one. There we go.
Never Too Steep, man. I ain't gonna lie though. This season getting steep though. I'm gonna keep it real.
That's very true.
Steeper and steeper, boy. That mountain is definitely getting steeper. I'm gonna keep it real with you. But hey, I like the name, man. Dig the name. But yeah, man, appreciate everybody. But yeah, man, let's get into this, man.
Let's quick.
Talk about this.
You missed one way back up. We gotta get Vikings fan 123.
Oh, Vikings fan 123 in the building, man.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. Hold up. Get a Rick Flynn there, man. My bad. And Dr. Proto in the building, man. Did I see Dr. Proto?
Yep.
I got Dr. Proto, man. My bad. I'm going blind, man. Olsen's in the building.
I was just about
too,
to say, we got the Olsen.
Damn.
Holla at your boy. I like it. So just so everybody know, real quick, what's up, Skull Wah? Skull Wah
in the building, man. Skull Wah. You like that woo, man? You gonna get you a Ric Flair, man. Let's get it, man. This for you, Skull Wah. Shout out to you.
What I was going to say is we are simulcasting. I know we said we weren't going to, but since this is a, kind of a special episode, we are simulcasting on both. So if you could go on both channels and hit the like buttons, that'd be great. And regardless of what channel you're on, if you're not subscribed to both channels, hit the sub button, please. Tomorrow night, I'm debuting a watch party. Yeah, I'm going Realistic Randy on the bit, and I will be doing a live watch party. So come on and join me. I'm going to start it probably about 6:50 Central Time, right after I get done with the Vikings First and Skull pregame that I'm going to sit in on with as well. So come on out, ladies and gentlemen. Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me talking about this game all by myself. Come on and help the brother. All right, let's go.
Shout out Frozen North in the building, man. I see you, Frozen. Appreciate you tapping in, Frozen. Your support does not go unseen. You heard me, man. I see you, man, for sure. But man, let's talk about it now. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. First of all, we'll talk about how the Lions got exposed. We're actually gonna focus on 3 teams is what we want to do. We want to focus on 3 teams. Who's those 3 teams? Well, I'm gonna tell y'all. The first one's gonna be the Green Bay Packers. All right, we saw what just happened to them. They just lost to, a team that isn't as good as damn near just as bad as us right now. You feel me? Like, I'm just keep it real. So they lost to the damn Broncos. Then we're going to talk about the Falcons, and then we're going to talk about the Saints. Now, why are those 3 teams very significant to this show tonight? Well, that's because after tomorrow, that is the 3-game run that we're going to have to face, and where some fans believe that it's the easy road, right? Like, just obvious that the Vikings are going to be able to win because they're easy teams. So we're going to talk about it and see how easy they really are. Maybe we can look back at some of the competition they play, because that's what I like to do, man. I like to know who they lost to and who they beat and by how many damn points, because that means something, man. You know what I mean? So let's get into it, man. Hey, Lions talk, man. Appreciate you. What's happening? What's happening, my dog? Hey, listen, we feel bad for you, man. We feel bad for you, man. It was ugly for you. It was ugly for you, but y'all still holding it down, though. My boy Micro Mike. I know he holding it down over there, though, man. I gotta go over there and tap into a live show, man. I gotta go watch the show after that. You know what I mean? I know he probably ran like a motherfucker. Even when you still the best team, when you take an L like that, man, it just do something to you.
But you know what? Taking an L like that isn't the worst thing in the world. It goes back to my line. Sometimes when you win, you really lose. Sometimes when you lose, you really win it. Getting mollywopped like that shows you your weaknesses and shows you where you can improve. And you know what? It can be kind of humbling. So at the end of the day, the Lions are still the odds-on favorite to win this division.
Absolutely.
They got a pretty easy schedule. And I was talking about that the other day, that after this Baltimore game, their schedule, we were talking tonight about our schedule maybe being easy. Oh boy, you should see Detroit's. But at the end of the day, boy, not going to be fun in Detroit for at least a week, but they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine for sure. They definitely got a team over there, man.
Sure.
you know, to just anybody just ain't gonna be able to do what the Ravens did. The Ravens are a good football team, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like they're not. It ain't. See, that's the difference. Like they lost, but it ain't like they lost to the Broncos. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No shot. I mean, I ain't trying to throw no shade. I'm just saying, it ain't like they lost to the Broncos. You feel me? They lost to a team that's actually good and that's actually beating the hell out of teams this year already. So, but it is what it is, man. You know, Lamar Jackson, man. Lamar Jackson, you know, as Vikings fans would say, he's too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the fools that said they'd rather have Kirk Cousins than Lamar Jackson. Come on.
He's too expensive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Stop
we're gonna hold on to that. We're gonna hold on to that, man. You know, go watch him play today, man. You know, as a Vikings fans, we tend to see when we see players play like that, the first thing we say is he's too expensive. You know what I mean? Like for sure. But man, yeah, he looked like money to me. I'm gonna just keep it real. But let's see, man. So first I want to talk about the Falcons. Did you tap into the Falcons at all?
A little bit, because they switched to that game in the middle of the third quarter from the Baltimore-Detroit game because it was just absolutely terrible. So I did get to see like the last part of the third quarter and all the fourth quarter. And realistically, they won on a last-second walk-off field goal, 16-13. But Atlanta, that score, it wasn't that close. Atlanta literally fumbled the ball out of the back of the end zone like JJ did in Philadelphia. So that took off 7 points. And there was a couple of other possessions where they were just this close from putting the nail in the coffin, but they never did. But I will say this, their defense is pretty good. You know, Baker Mayfield, he had some nice throws here and there between the 20s, but they couldn't get more than 13 points against this defense. So their defense is, I'm not going to say it's the same level as Cleveland and San Francisco, but their defense is solid.
Defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And now let's talk about what they did, right? So this was their first game. They played the team that we barely beat. Shout out David Ditter in the building. I see you, Mike.
What's up, Ditter?
Appreciate you, man.
Good to see you. McAndrews, what's going on?
McAndrews in the building. I see you, McAndrews. Appreciate you. Look, they played the Panthers week 1, 24-10. All right. They beat them how you supposed to beat them. I mean, beat them like a redheaded stepchild. Beat them. They lost to the Packers they beat the Packers by 1 point. All right. So they handled business. Now, the Lions, we were just talking about how the Lions got exposed today, but you know, the Lions handled them 20-6. Like you should handle, like the Lions should. I mean, the Lions they're propped up right now to be one of the better teams in the NFL. So that's how you should beat the Falcons. Jaguars beat them 23-7, right? Then they wound up beating the Texans. The Texans been playing really good football, but the Falcons squeaked that out. They lost 24-16 to the Commanders, and then today they beat the Bucs 16-13. And like you said, right, they actually should have won this game by at least another touchdown. They should have won this game by at least 10 for sure. You know, and we're talking about a Bucs team that we struggled with, a Bucs team that we lost to. And then also with the Carolina game, they smacked them by 2 touchdowns. We also struggled with them as well. So what do you see easy about them?
Well, the only thing that I see easy about them is, okay, you beat the Panthers, Packers, lost to the Lions and Jaguars, beat the Texans, Buccaneers. Their loss to the Commanders is the one that's like, okay, because, you know, right now, what's their record? 4-3.
4-3 now. Yep.
So they really should be 5-2. I don't know how they took the L to the Commanders, but having said that, it's not going to be an easy game because, as I said a moment ago, their defense is pretty good. It's not top 5 good, but it's pretty good. And if Bijan Robinson didn't come down with the sniffles, I think they do, in fact, beat Tampa Bay. And if our run defense, which
they beat Tampa Bay. You mean the Commanders?
No, I'm saying the Falcons. I'm saying if Bijan Robinson had played more today,
they
beat the Buccaneers by more than 10, actually.
Right. Yeah.
So this game between us and the Falcons in a couple of weeks, that's no gimme. It's not. If Bijan Robinson plays and our run defense is just mediocre, he could run for 200 yards like the dude from Philly did. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying we can't beat them, but it's in their house down in Atlanta. And They're a pretty good overall team. They're a
And
good
my
overall.
wife wants to go to that game, and I'm like, nah, dog. Nah, dog, ain't happening. Like, first of all, and nothing. I mean, if we beat San Fran, I might think about it.
Right.
But I don't know, man. Like, to me, I think it's just the city of Atlanta. The traffic and shit just pisses me off, to be honest with you. But yeah, man, I feel the same way though. Like, listen, we got to remember, guys. You know, teams, and tomorrow night's gonna say a lot. We can either send a message to the league tomorrow night, depending on how we play. We can send a message to teams like the 3 teams that we're focusing on tonight: the Falcons, the Saints, and the Green Bay Packers. Or, well, we could send a message either way, either a bad message or a good one. The bad one's going to say the same way how we're sitting back and thinking that, hey, we got an easy part of the schedule. And you've
Right.
said this a million times too during your shows. These teams are thinking the same exact thing, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to be, think about this, guys. Put yourself in the shoes of a Falcons fan really quick, just for 20 seconds. All right. I'm not asking you to do too much, just 20 seconds. And think about it, that you see the Vikings on your schedule and you say, damn, they're 2 and 4, 2 and 5, right? 2 and 4.
2 and 4
Or
for
2
now.
and 4.
Yeah.
Let's look at who they beat. Okay, they beat the Panthers and they beat the Bears. That's it. Oh,
And
yeah.
barely.
Damn.
And barely.
And barely. Oh yeah, man. That's a dub for us, bruh. That's how they're feeling too. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you right now, the Falcons are definitely a way more grittier team than the Bears and the Panthers. I'm gonna tell you right now, that game is not gonna be easier than those 2 games.
Right.
They are going to be a better opponent than those 2 teams. And that's just real. That's just real, man. You know, so I mean, that's that on the Falcons, man. What else you got to say about the Falcons, Dave, before we move on?
Well, they have a tough game on the road against Tennessee next week before they get us. Now, Tennessee, you know, they're 2 and 4. They're not anything special right now, but it is a road game for them. Now, again, they're not flying cross country, you know, Tennessee, not that far from Atlanta, but that's going to be an interesting game for them the week before they play us. But regardless of that, and regardless of what happens to us tomorrow night, and we'll talk about that a little bit at the end, Atlanta's no gimme. Atlanta is no gimme. At the beginning of the season, you know, when we making our predictions, on paper, the Vikings were better. On paper.
On paper, man. Shout out Yogi, man. I mean, on paper, shit, man. The Vikings, man, we Super Bowl champions on paper. I'm gonna tell you right now, we're the paper bowl champions, man. Like, for real, we damn sure the paper bowl champions, man.
Right.
All right. Let's move on to the Saints. All right. So the Saints is another team. And who do we play exactly after the 49? Is it the Saints? I think the Saints.
No, we go Green Bay, Atlanta.
So we go Green Bay first. Okay. So I should have went in order, but it's
all right. We'll save the Packers for the end because we all know.
We'll save the Packers for last. All right.
Yeah.
So the Saints, man, week 1, they beat the Titans 16-15. Week 2, they beat the Panthers 20-17. Now, that's a game similar to ours. They struggled with them. And these are division games for them. So these games are usually kind of tough anyways.
And
they lost. This whole 3 games that we're playing too, it's kind of tricky, man, because you look at it, right? The Packers beat the Falcons. Or no, the Falcons beat the Packers, didn't they? Or did I think well, the Packers beat the Saints. And they beat the Saints 18-17 in like a fluke ass game, right?
Yeah, the Saints were up 17-0 into the 4th quarter, and then Green Bay got 18 unanswered. So they had that, and they let them off the hook, as the late great Denny Green would say. But
right. And then the Buccaneers, all right, and they get mollywopped 26-9. Okay, this Buccaneers just straight manhandle them, and then they turn around and they beat the Patriots 34-0.
Exactly.
And then now, if you think about that, in today's game, the Patriots just beat the Bills. The Patriots just handled the Bills. I watched most of that game. I was tuned into that game. The Patriots straight handled the Bills from beginning to end for the most part. It came down to the wire at the end, but throughout the whole game, the Patriots had it under control for the most part. They almost let it go slip away, but they wound up coming back. But yeah, man. And then they beat and then they lost to the Texans. So if out of the 3 teams we're talking about, right, and we're talking about easy, I'm gonna say the only team that I feel like is gonna be easy, and I ain't even gonna say easy, but this team, the Saints, I think we possibly wake up with confidence and say, hey, you know what? This is a game we most likely can win. And I'm gonna tell you, there's a couple of reasons, man. I think they're going through what we're going through. Their offense was supposed to be their offense was supposed to be their thing, man. They always usually have a decent defense, but their offense with getting Derek Carr and they got Alvin Kamara's back and they got Williams out there catching the damn football. Not Williams, man. You know what the hell I'm talking about, though, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. This team is struggling right now. You know, the Saints are struggling bad. So we might be able to squeak this one out. I'm not going to call it easy, but what I will say, out of the 3 opponents we're talking about, I'm going to say that this might be one. So I'll put us 1 and 2 because the Falcons are going to be the toughest out of all of them, in my opinion. I just think the Falcons are gritty, bro. Like, I think the Falcons are gritty, bro. Like,
I will say this too. Assuming we lose tomorrow night, and nobody's saying we want that, and we're just keeping it real, the Vikings will then be 0-4 at home. Yep. Okay, so then you got the 2 road games with the Packers and the Falcons. And the thing about the Saints, you know, they were down 24-9 against the Jaguars, and then they got close, and they were throwing the ball in the end zone on the last play of the game. So, but to your point, all of these 3 teams we're talking about, they've all played each other and they've all played opponents that we've played. And they have, some of them have won and some of them have struggled to varying degrees. So, but like you said, how the hell this team beat the Patriots 34-0 and then the Patriots turn around and beat the Bills? Nothing about this league makes sense right now. It really doesn't. So it is the any given Sunday bit, but I agree with you that the Saints is probably the most winnable because it's at home. And at that point, you would have just played 2 consecutive road games. And, oh, by the way, if tomorrow night doesn't go the way of the Vikings, that would be they'd be like, no, we cannot go 0-5 at home. Right. So I agree with you that the Saints is kind of one of those, okay, this one's got to be it.
This got to be
nothing
it.
Else. Yeah,
it got to be it. All right. So, and I mean, again, Derek Carr just isn't being Derek Carr, and you got people that have put Derek Carr on this pedestal, and I like Derek Carr a little bit too. Now, I would take Kirk Cousins, you know, if I'm looking at this season. But I mean, there was times where I would take Derek Carr over Kirk Cousins. There was seasons where he was with the Raiders where I'm like, man, I just like his play style a little better. You know what I mean? Like if he had a Justin Jefferson and a Diggs and Adam Thielen at the time, I feel like he would have been able to make just as many plays as our quarterback now is. But again, right now, I would take Cousins. He's struggling. Their run game struggling. They're trying to find their identity. But we can look back at 2018 with the Vikings, and that's why we can't be that hard. Well, we can be hard on Derek Carr because F the Saints, right? But I'm just saying they're going through a similar situation, right? Derek Carr, first year there. They're trying to, they got to gel, man. Them boys got to gel. And that's another reason why I say, with the title being the easy competition, this might be the one that's most likely, hey, it's at home. We're most likely, we're not wishing for a loss tomorrow night, but the chances are way up there. You know what I mean? They're just
we're 7-point dogs at home. Okay.
That tells you something. So that means we're really 10-point dogs.
Correct. And that's with Deebo Samuel already being ruled out.
Yeah. So, and Christian McCaffrey's ruled in.
Yes, and McCaffrey is all but ruled in, and we'll see about Trent Williams. But, yeah, tomorrow's going to be tough. So, again, my biggest point of contention here is when the Saints come to town, they're up and down. And, they remind me, like you said, of the Vikings. They've been in some close games where, they were getting blown out by the Jags, and then they came all the way back to tie the score, and then the Jags scored, and then they couldn't put it. And again, they were up 17-0 against Green Bay, lost by a point. So there are some similarities to the Vikings there. But I agree with you. That should be, if we had to pick one, that'd be the one I'd pick. I mean, I want it to be Green Bay for obvious reasons. If we were going to go 1 and 2, I'd rather the victory come against Green Bay. Right. But having said that, we'll get to the Packers in a second. You want to get some shouts here? We're behind a little bit. Shout out.
I mean, we can get some shots. Hold on, let's see who we. Shout out Steve in the building. I see you, Steve in the building. Nephew, man, appreciate you tapping in, nephew. Appreciate you, man. We got which I put your one up there, man. Thank you for throwing them out
Mhm.
there, man. Olave and then
Thomas.
McAndrews too, man. Thomas, man. Michael Thomas. That's
Mhm.
who the hell I was thinking about. Taysom Hill, that as well. But I still think we can beat them. You know what I mean? So that is one that I'm more confident in, like we said, when it comes to guaranteed, man. I want to mark in the building, man. I don't know if I seen you earlier, man. Appreciate you. I want to mark,
What's
man.
up, Bob?
But let's read some of the comments too, real quick. I want to put some of these big ones on, and I'll get you Lemmy too, man. Actually, let me do Lemmy's first here. All
What's
right,
up, Lemmy?
Lemmy said, shout out to Lemmy, man. Let's get you a Rick Flair before we read him. He said, mark my words, guys. We'll beat San Francisco tomorrow and go on a little run, getting all of our hopes up and being a playoff pitcher. Then towards the end, they'll jack off and drop the ball and screw up our draft position. And you
Amen,
know
Lemmy.
what? That sounds very Viking-esque.
Exactly.
Right now. That does sound
Shout
very
out.
Viking-esque.
Shout out to Mr. McFadden. We didn't want to skip you here, so I saw you come in and I saved you there. So he's got the 49ers 38, the Vikings 17 with 3 interceptions from Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I think Kirk's gonna have a bad game.
He ain't holding back. He ain't holding back.
Yeah, I definitely see Kirk having a bad game, man. Shout out Crown in the building, man. I see you, Crown. But I do think Kirk Cousins is going to have a bad game. I think tomorrow is set up, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if y'all want to see a good show, man, go watch Skull Live from last night with me, SK, Yogi, and we had Coach Chauncey in the building, man. That's a 49ers fan. And the way he broke down why the Vikings are going to struggle, I'm going to tell you right now, he tried to be as nice as possible, and just going off of stats and why we don't match up well. All the stuff that I've said and all the stuff that I believe going into this game, he just said it out loud and let us know, you know what I mean, without being a fan of ours. He claimed we're his second team, but, because he lives in Minnesota and he coaches a high school team in Minnesota. But, again, we just don't match up well with this team, bro. We don't, so it's going to get nasty.
Honestly, here's the thing. I said this going into the season because our boy Dave tried to be optimistic and say, well, the Eagles are going to be the 1 seed and the Vikings are going to beat San Francisco and that'll give them the tiebreaker for the 2 seed. I said, you do realize that San Francisco has one real good offensive line. And now, mind you, this was in the summer. Danielle Hunter was still holding in. We had no idea what the Flores defense was going to be. So I said, until proven otherwise, I don't want to hear that we're going to beat San Francisco because both of the trenches lines, offensive line of theirs against our defensive line, and, oh, by the way, their defensive line against our offensive line. Now, our offensive line has been playing better. We'll grant them that. But we still talking about Nick Bosa and company over there. So I think shout out Gary for the $5.
Shout out Cringe in the building too, man. Shout out Gary, man. San Fran 28-10. Yeah, I can see that.
I can see that. Absolutely. But we'll get back to shout out Cody in the building. We'll get back to the San Francisco game here. Let's round up our 3 supposed easy ones before we get back to that.
Yeah. So then we got Green Bay. So we'll move on to Green Bay real quick. I'm just gonna really quick go through. All right. So let's see here. So they beat the Bears 38-20, their first game. All right. They beat the Bears 38-20, a team that we struggled with. You know what I mean? I don't give a damn what nobody talking about. Dayon Davis, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, gang. Appreciate you tapping on. All right, we got they lost to the Falcons 25-24. That's what we talked about. They also played the Saints that we talked about too, and they lost that or they won that game 18-17. Then they got beat by the Lions 34-20. And then the Raiders beat them 13. And the Raiders is a team that we'll see afterwards too, but we won't get into that. And then today they lost to the Broncos. Now, out of all the schedules and out of all the 3 teams we're talking about, when I read that off, they seem like the worst team though, right?
Oh,
the
they
Packers,
definitely are.
Yeah, they seem like the worst team. But what comes into play is it's the Packers. It's in our division, and for some reason, we will make it interesting. Now, that's not to say that we can't win the game, but all I'm saying is it easy? That's the question.
Well, here's another couple of factors to throw into that Packer game. We're playing on Monday Night Football, which means we got 1 less day of rest.
Oh, wow.
The Packers play today. That's number 1. Number 2, studies have statistically shown.
Hold on, so we play again next Monday?
No. I'm saying we play tomorrow, and then we play on Sunday. So they played today, so they got an extra day of rest. We got one less day of
Okay,
rest because we're
I
playing
got you.
tomorrow. So
Got you.
the other thing too is if you look back over the last 5 years, teams that just played San Francisco the week before have a losing record, and it's not even close. Okay, because
Yep.
why? We just got done talking about the physicality of their offense and defensive lines. So yeah, we're coming off a game against San Francisco on Monday night where the Green Bay Packers have an extra day of rest. So while in theory, in a vacuum, I would say the Vikings are a slightly better team. I mean, the Packers have lost 3 games in a row and have lost 4 out of 5. I mean, they're
Yeah.
just they're 2-4 right now because they had their bye week, and they're going to be coming for us because they're not going to want to lose 4 games in a row, obviously. But I'm just saying the other factors besides the one you mentioned, you got to take into account that they got one more day of rest and the fact that we're coming off a very strong opponent that has a tendency to beat people up.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So again, is this easy? You know what I mean? Will Kirk
No.
still take Tuesday off this week? Probably. You know, he said Tuesday. Hey, his wife said Tuesdays are family day, bro, regardless. So he don't get to make that decision, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
So yeah, Dave, to answer your question, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. You know what I mean? So really, you know, Kirk's only gonna have X amount of days to really get prepared for that game as well, because he takes that extra one off too.
Right.
But you know, again, and Matt, you know what? We ain't gonna turn this shit into no curb. So I ain't even gonna get into that. But what I do want to get into though, talking about this game tomorrow a little bit. We'll get into this game a little bit tomorrow. Because I want to take some pointers from what we talked about last night, having Coach on. And one thing that made very clear sense to me is because I see Lemmy talking about we might gotta shake Brock Purdy up and stuff like that. It's not gonna happen. And there's a couple reasons why. One of the main reasons why is, like he said, we have one like legitimate pass rusher in 99. All right. I like DJ Wanham. DJ Wanham's making noise. I told y'all to start paying attention to him more, especially tomorrow night. You might see him make a couple little splash plays, but against this team, I don't think there's going to be much action there. But Shanahan's smart enough to know to eliminate Danielle Hunter. So they're the team, they get the least amount of sack. Brock Purdy does not get sacked. And there's a reason is because they do a lot of quick passes. That's what they do. That's how the 49ers operate. We aren't going to be able to get to Brock Purdy tomorrow. So don't expect to see sacks from us like that. It just isn't going to happen. The San Francisco 49ers, not only against us, they just don't allow sacks like that because the way their offense runs, you know what I mean? So it's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad. And I said it's going to feel like that game where it's 3rd and 8 and they're going to get 9 yards. It's just going to be that all night. You know what I'm saying?
Or 3rd and 14 where they get 15, you know?
Right. And I just think that's what's happening. Now, one more thing, and I'll let you go, is he said that his team 80% plays man coverage.
Right.
Now, this is a bad game to not have Justin Jefferson in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I know we're wishing and hoping that Jordan Addison has this crazy breakout game, but the reality is the chances of that happening, of Jordan Addison having 130 yards with 2 touchdowns and stuff, I mean, the chances of that is low, man, in reality. Could it happen? Absolutely. Absolutely, it could happen. Things happen, weird things happen all the damn time. You know what I mean? But against a team that's as physical as the 49ers,
yeah,
man, I don't know, man. This isn't the game to be hoping that. That's all I'm saying. This isn't the game to be hoping that. So for real.
Let me get a couple shouts in here. Young Cringe in the building. What's going on, Cringe? Good to see you. Go ahead and put Mateos up because that's the line of the night already.
What do you say? Who
gets blown out more, the Vikings or a $5 hoe? Going with the Vikings.
Yeah. I mean, the Vikings are gonna struggle, man. They gonna struggle tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? They definitely, man. Let me get two evils up here, man. He said, "Hi, Rap and Ice Tay, trading away Hunter, JJ, Darisaw, and whoever to get draft capital is something I'm really looking forward to." I mean, I'm not gonna say JJ or Darisaw, but I'll take Hunter though.
Yeah, take Hunter. Absolutely.
I mean, I'll trade Hunter.
We ain't trading JJ for the only player I'd trade JJ for is Patrick Mahomes. And we all know
Yeah.
that ain't gonna happen. So stop the
Yeah.
cap with trading JJ. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And neither is Darisaw, by the way. He's a top 5, some would say top 3 left tackle in the business. Those don't grow on trees. Okay. So no.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop.
I ain't trading Darisaw. Yeah. Although Darisaw, you know, the injuries be killing me sometimes, man. The injuries do be killing me sometimes, but
That's true.
yeah, I ain't gonna trade him yet, man. He said too evil poking the bear. Yeah, too evil always do that, man. That's just too evil. You know what I'm saying? That's just too evil.
Shout out Dayton in the building. What's going on here? Let's hit the reset button. If you didn't wipe your feet at the door, hit those like buttons. And if you could, go to both channels and hit the like buttons. And if you ain't subscribed to both channels, give us some subs, please. Because you know what? You're going to see us together. You're going to see us as individuals. And one more time, I will be doing a live watch party tomorrow for the entirety of the game. Probably kick it off about 6:50 Central Time. So give me a like, give me a sub, and all that good stuff. Well, I haven't really accepted it too evil. I've just done talking about it. So, but I digress.
David Ditter said Vikings offense going to directly give up 10 points to San Fran like they seem to do every week. In fact, has our offense scored more than it given up with the turnovers this year? Yeah. So especially in the first quarter, I think I know we're really bad in the first quarter too. So we're really bad in the first quarter.
There was a while we hadn't scored in the first quarter at all. And then we got a field goal against Kansas City. And I think we got a field goal against Chicago. But the bottom line is we have not scored a single touchdown in the first quarter this entire season. Entire season. And by the way, I think our first half scoring is only like 50 or 60, which is ridiculous. They're just a slow starting team. I don't know what to make of this team. Shout out to my guy T-Bass. What's up, T-Bass? Good to see you. What's going on with you? But to answer Ditter's question, I'd have to go check the stats on it. But when you figure Kirk's pick 6 and when you figure all of the points scored off turnovers, it's close. I'm pretty sure the offense has still put up more, but at the end of the day, it's closer than it should be. So your point is well seen, Ditter. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Mary, do we believe that our defense can get Purdy rattled? I'm gonna say no, only because of how their offense operates. They run a very quick pass offense. Yeah. Like they're very quick. Purdy gets the ball out of his hands very quick. They don't do 5 and 7 drop backs, step drop backs. They just don't do that. They're very Purdy and Shanahan are dialed into, hey, hike the ball, get the ball out your hands fast, give it to the playmakers, let them get the yards. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And again, I think so. I did the video earlier with Danielle Hunter, and although he'll lead the league in sacks, I think there's still something that misses there when I think about the top echelon of pass rushers like your TJ Watt and stuff. It seems like Danielle Hunter, you got to be a quarterback that holds on to the ball just a little longer than normal for him to get to you. He doesn't you rarely ever see him just like bang through the line. Like if you watch Myles Garrett today, right, man, Myles Garrett just straight wrecked that whole game, man. Like I'm telling you, man, you can see, this man was doing, listen, right when the ball's hiked, like he's there. To where I feel like sometimes Danielle Hunter, it takes a little the quarterback got to just be holding on to the ball too damn long for Danielle to get to him. You know what I mean? Like for real, but that's just my
Danielle's a guy that wins by outworking and outmoving his opponent. Whereas, as you said, Myles Garrett, he just, he's just a terror. And that's not to take anything away from Danielle. But it just they're different kinds of pass rushers. Shout out to Warlord of Art. What's going on, Warlord? Good to see you.
Yeah, for sure. There's a difference there, man. When you compare him to the other guys, man, like TJ Watt, man, this man getting interceptions today. Like this dude, Myles Garrett got a field goal block today. Like these guys are just doing more than just sacking the quarterback, man. They're really like dictating the game out here, bro. Like for real. Like there's a difference, man. I feel like.
Now Mateo has a good point. Myles does have a pretty good defensive tackle to play alongside, whereas Hunter hasn't had one since probably 19 with Linval Joseph.
That's true.
So there is a point to be made there. And again, Danielle Hunter in 17 through 19, he had Everson Griffin on the other side. He had Linval Joseph, like we just talked about. He had an in his prime Harrison Smith to be able to coverage sacks, and you still had Xavier Rhodes before he started to fall off. So the point is well seen, because like you said at the beginning of this conversation about Daniil, he's the only real defender. And
He is.
Mike Shanahan's going to scheme to say, hey, this is the one guy we got to avoid.
Yeah, just eliminate him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious how to eliminate our pass rush, man. And it's like, okay, if you eliminate him, who else we talking about here? DJ Wanham? I mean, who? Patrick Jones? Like, who are we talking about here?
Nothing so far. And
you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing.
I like DJ Wanham as your third guy. I don't know that I like him too much as your second. And when Daniil and Davenport were, for the 1.5 games they actually played together,
good.
They seem good, and that allows DJ Wanham to be that third guy where you're not expecting him, and he's not taking first rep snaps. He's just coming in on obvious passing situations where he's put in a better position to succeed. But
because he has energy, and he kind of has the stamina, man. But I mean, look, man, all I know is this game tomorrow is where it's definitely a lopsided battle when you think about on paper and you look at statistics. Everything that we're bad at as a Vikings team, they're super good at on the opposing thing. So that's why it doesn't match up well, because if you go through paper, like, we're bad at stopping the run, well, guess what? They're one of the best at running the damn football. All right. This another thing too. We're bad at running the football. They're number one at stopping the damn run. So, like, I'm telling you, like, it's just one of those things. They're passing, they're number one in interceptions. All right. So again, is this game Kirk Cousins? I got a feeling like he's going to get rattled early and often, man. Like, he is going to, and not to have that security blanket of Justin Jefferson out there, we're really going to see what type of man we have under center tomorrow night. Like, that's a fact. We're really going to see if he can do something without his boy JJ out there to save him, right? I'm gonna tell you,
was unimpressive, to say the least. 12 offensive points, none in the second half. So again, it's only one game, but it's against a bad team and a bad defense. What you gonna do when the San Francisco 49ers run wild
for you? You heard?
Oh, Hulk Hogan line. What you gonna do, brother, when the Hulkster and the Macho Madness go wild on you?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like Gary said, man, sit Kirk in your fantasy leagues tomorrow night. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Sit his ass. Sit his ass.
I'm going to say something about T-Bass's comment from about 5 minutes ago. Extremely frustrated hearing so many Vikings fans not wanting to trade Hunter. Please come to the reality that he's not going to be on this team next year. He basically said so, and I'll add to the end, yes, get something for Daniil Hunter. Don't play we could get a compensatory pick in 2025. Well, yeah, but if you sign free agents next year, that hurts your formula. So it's not just a guarantee that you're going to get a third for Daniil Hunter. So to me, with all due respect, and particularly if we lose tomorrow, whether we lose by 10 or whether we get mollywopped, tomorrow theoretically should be the day that Kwesi starts really figuring out what he can get for Daniil Hunter. I know that's like T-Bass said, there's so many in this fan base that don't want to accept the reality of it is what it is, but and it's not that I want to get rid of the guy. It's just that if he's not going to be here next year, get something for him.
Exactly. And if he, let's just say he does have a decent game tomorrow, I mean, shit, that just ups the, like, listen, if Kwesi is who we think he is and who he proclaims to be, the stock guy, this is a prime example for him. And I said this in the video, this is your time, bro. You should be rubbing your hands together, man, doing the baby, man, baby from Cash Money, man, for the ones who know, man, you should be doing this shit. You know what I mean? Because you should know that, hey, somebody will bite. Somebody will bite right now. Somebody might not bite next week, because if he goes out there, because this is the NFL, man, not for long. NFL, not for long, man. So if he goes out there and doesn't get it one sack tomorrow, that's going to right there alone drop some trade value, man. You got to sell while it's hot, man. He hot as cakes right now, man. Get him the hell up out of here. It's fact, especially if we lose, though. for sure. Especially
and if we get mollywopped. I mean, if we lose 38-10, 38-17, I don't care. All that stuff.
So what are you saying? If we lose by 3 points, we should keep them?
No, I'm saying if you win tomorrow, that's showing us something. That's beating a good team. To your point about matchups, if we played the Cleveland Browns, we could very easily beat the Cleveland Browns. But
maybe
I'm saying you got a better chance against the Cleveland Browns than you do against the 49ers, and Cleveland played them and beat them. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, either way, if you get a win, that means you would have finally beaten a good team, not just the Bears and the Panthers, for crying out loud. And then it's like, okay, now you show me something. But yes, whether if we lose tomorrow, I don't care if it's 3 points or if it's 30 points. I'm just at 2-5. Forget it. It's done. And trade away your pieces. I'm just saying, in particular, if you get destroyed tomorrow, there should be no conversation either way, but there's really no conversation if you get spanked.
Yeah, there should be no conversation to be had, man. It should just be get them up out of here. Get what you can get right now while you can get it.
While it's high. Yep. Shout out to Mary real quick. Yes, indeed, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, indeed. But I digress.
Hold on. Let's see. Should we change?
8:25, about 5 minutes ago.
No, I'm not looking for that.
Oh, okay. But I like T-Bass. But we all know the 49ers game plan will be built around stopping Lewis Seen.
Oops. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Don't vote on that poll. Hold on. I got to do a new one.
Okay.
I had to get rid of that. Hold on.
Yeah, Mateo, DJ Wanham. I've compared him to Brian Robeson quite often. Brian Robeson in 2009 was the third fiddle to Jared Allen and who was that other guy? Ray Edwards. And then in 2017, he was the third fiddle to Daniil and Everson Griffin. So yes, he's absolutely a light version of Brian Robeson. I've made that comparison as well. Kirk about to be folded. All right. So what's the poll that you put up?
All right. So I just asked if we should trade Hunter. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what people talk about here. Let's see. So should we trade Hunter? 4 votes already saying yeah. You know what I mean? So again, I said I wouldn't be mad if the Vikings were to keep Hunter. All right. So if the Vikings were to keep Hunter, I would be okay with that as well. Only because I do believe he's a good player, but then I think about the money and what he's gonna want too, because y'all got me thinking about the money now. I mean, everybody want to talk about the money. So shit, what we gonna have to pay him? What are we gonna have to pay a guy like Daniil Hunter? Like, what's his value going to be on top of having to pay Justin Jefferson, on top of having to pay Christian Darrisaw, and then for the ones who want to extend Kirk too, man? I think you're just wanting a little bit too much, man.
Right. No, Daniil's he hasn't had an opportunity to really cash in because he took a sweetheart of a deal for the team back in 2018 because that was their window, so to speak. And the team had made promises that after a couple years, all right, we'll redo you all. Then guess what? He missed the whole season with the neck injury, and then the next year he missed more than half the season with a pectoral pull. So I think Daniil is not going to be very amenable. He might want to just not even be here regardless with all of the stuff that he's had to endure. And again, I'm not saying that the Vikings did him dirty. He accepted the deal. But, yeah, again, he's going to want at least $22 million. He probably won't want to resign here. So, again, it would be malpractice on Kwesi's part. And I don't care what the Wilfs say, and I don't care what KOC says. It would be malpractice to not maximize that asset that is about to expire. But
absolutely. And I have to agree that we should, but again, I wouldn't be mad if we keep him. But you know what I mean? It's just one of those things, man, because he is good at what he does. You know what I mean? And obviously he deserves some money. I mean, he does deserve some money, but my main concern, and y'all know my main concern, is the quarterback position. We are going to see it live tomorrow. I'm telling y'all, please be locked into our quarterback tomorrow. I want everybody to pay. This is what I want everybody from Purple Gang to do tomorrow night for me, please. Don't even pay nobody. Please just watch your quarterback. Watch the way he acts on the sideline. I want y'all to really pay attention to him very closely tomorrow for me, please. Because when we get back on this show, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, we going in. All right, we getting the shovels. I'm telling you right now, we gonna bury them. So, hey, put it like this. Tomorrow, and I don't know if we're not gonna go live tomorrow night, so it's probably gonna be Tuesday. But be ready, man. Be ready because it's gonna get nasty. I'm gonna tell you right now, this
No
game
holds
is
barred,
set
baby.
up for Kirk Cousins to embarrass us on national damn TV, man. And that's me being a damn Vikings fan saying that. I just don't have confidence in our leader. I do not feel like our guy is going to go out there and outplay a guy that got drafted with the 272nd pick in the damn draft. I feel like
Mystery relevant, baby.
their fan base feel way more confident in their quarterback than we do, and we got a guy that been in the league for damn 12 years.
And getting paid $40 million.
Like for real, man. You know, I'm telling you, man. Like we ain't going into this game, and I know there's a lot of Vikings fans. Y'all ain't gonna tell me y'all going into this game tomorrow feeling like Kirk Cousins about to turn up and really feel like that. You might say that because you're trying to just throw it into the universe and you're hoping. But realistically, we do not feel like that, man.
No.
Like for real, man. Not against this team. I could see like maybe, you know, him turning up in Green Bay or something because he usually has good games against Green Bay, track record, evidence. You know, I could see that. But this game, bro, on Monday night, 2-10 on Monday night, y'all. Don't forget.
And some want to say that all that narrative about Kirk in prime time has been dispelled. Well, not on Monday night. It hasn't.
It's been dispelled. He's 2-10. Is that dispelled? That shit don't sound dispelled to me. 2-10 on Monday night, y'all.
No, it's not. Shout out to Dayton Davis. Sorry, if the Vikings lose tomorrow, they should trade any players that aren't going to be on this team for 2024. Get as much draft capital as possible. Dayton, go subscribe to my channel because I done been saying that for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, I've been saying, hey, if you can't beat Chicago and Carolina by more than one possession against their terrible teams.
I think it's Dayon too. I don't think.
Oh, is it Dayon? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think it's. He don't have a T in his name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Dayon. I'm sorry. But no, I've been saying the same thing. I said if you lose, if you're 2-5 after 7 games, all your pending free agents. We talking about KJ Osborne. We talking about Danielle Hunter. If you could trade Harrison Smith, I would do that too.
Me too. Me too.
Ezra Cleveland's going to be a little tougher because he's, got the injury status, but I would see what you can get for him. And I've said this before too, all due respect to the Kirk stands, I'd find a way to get Kirk out of here too. Well, he won't waive his no trade clause. Well, if you tell him he's going to be put on the bench because we want to see what Jaron Hall can do, that might motivate him to waive his no trade clause. I'm just saying. I don't care how that looks. We looking towards the future. That's what
and that was funny, man. Dave said that on his show, man. He said, I don't give a damn how it make us look or how it make him look. Like straight up, man. We looking towards the future. And as Vikings fans, y'all, we have to take our emotions out of this for a year, man. We do, especially and all of that's due to the circumstances of what we are facing right now as a fan base with this team. I mean, this team loses tomorrow. We are 2-5, man. Like at some point, you just got to take the emotions out of it and realize like there's always next year. I used to get on Dave last season about, saying there's always next year and shit. And this is what's funny, man, is last year we're winning football games. I just can't let it go, man. We're winning football games and people were making it seem like I'm being like crazy, like being too confident after we're winning 6-7 games in a row. And this year we're probably going to be 2-5. Like, there's a chance we can win tomorrow, but most likely the higher possibilities we're going to be 2-5.
Right.
And now like the purple Kool-Aid's just going around like anybody, like it's just punched, it just got the big punch bucket and everybody's just sipping that motherfucker. I'm just wondering like where the hell, like, what's up, man?
It don't make sense.
Like, what's going
Last year
on,
we
bro?
were winning, and everybody's like, "Yeah, we're winning," but the bottom's gonna fall out from under us. And now we lose, and it's like, "No, we're gonna get this turned around."
We're losing, but we got the best team in NFL. We're gonna go to the Super Bowl. We got a chance, bro. We got a chance. I know we're 2-5, but we're gonna win 8 in a row after Monday night. Like,
that's
fuck out of here, man. Like, what's up, man? Like, am I going crazy?
Like you said earlier, they seeing us as the easy part of the schedule too. Shout out JDT93. What's going on, JDT? Give him a Ric Flair.
Yeah, man. Shout out JDT, man. Hey, yeah, for real, man. Yeah, man. It's like, I don't know, man. It's been weird, man. This season's been weird for real. Weird, man. This shit's been weird. Like I don't have any confidence in this team this year, man.
No.
I really don't, bro. Like I'm sorry. I don't, man.
And honestly, don't let the fact that most, if not, I think it's all of these games we've played are one possession game. Don't let that fool you. Do not. That is fool's gold. Yeah, you lost to Philly by 6, but you were down 20 points, 27-7 at one point. And so, yeah, you clawed your way back in it, but you still ended up short. So again, that score looks closer than it really is.
Right. That's the definition of it. Looks closer than it really was.
Right.
You know what I
Same
mean?
thing with the Chiefs game. Oh, it was 27-20. It was 27-13 with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We got a touchdown. We got to stop. And then we didn't score again. And even if we had scored again, then instead of the Chiefs just running the ball just to drain clock, they would have actually run a possession to try to score. So we can talk about Alexander Madison dropping that screen pass where he might have scored a touchdown, but that would have tied the game. Let's not act like Patrick Mahomes would have just sat there and handed the ball off the way he did being up 7. So again, that game looks closer than it really actually was. And again, you lost to the Buccaneers at home by 3. You lost to the Chargers at home by 4. I mean, again, this team is just, we're close in every game. I don't care about being close in every game. I don't care that all 6 of our games have been one possession games. Hang the banner. That's not what we're not out here to say, well, we were close in every single game. Big deal. Shout out Eric in New Mexico and Florinda. What's going on, Eric? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, so I want to try something, y'all. This is what I want to try. All right. So we have 32 people in the building. There's 22 people on my side. I'm about to drop this link. Yogi and them are doing a watch party right now. I want to try the raid thing. So I want the numbers to drop on our stream. I want all 22 people. I'm about to drop this link. Go over to Yogi and them's watch party. They're watching right now and just put rap sent me or put rapping day sent me. All right. I've been seeing people do this, man. Let's see if the community fire, man. Let's do this raid. Let's do this raid right now, man. They call it raids. And I see a lot of groups do it. And Purple Gang got to start doing it, man. We got to start going over there and doing that. So boom, I just put the link in the comments. Make sure we go over there. Let's all go over there. I'm about to go over there too right now with y'all. Let's go over there real quick and comment on his channel, and then we'll bounce back, and then we're going to wind up ending this out anyways. So let's go over there real quick, y'all, and show some love, man. Let's see their numbers go up. They're going to be like, damn, people just tapping in like crazy right now. So, hold on.
I'm going to put it in mine too. Hold on just a second. Hold on, y'all. No, I don't want that. Stupid fat fingers. Where'd mine go? Where'd mine go? All right, I put it in my chat too. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to both channels, hit us up. And I'll be there, like I said, tomorrow for the watch party for the Vikings game. So I'm at 828. Can I get y'all to get me to 835, 840 by the time tomorrow night's done? Hit me up. Hit me up, y'all. I've seen a few people I know ain't my chat yet, but that's all right.
Hey, everybody went over there, man. Appreciate y'all, man, for sure. Appreciate y'all, man, for sure, man. Appreciate y'all going over there. They enjoying it too, man. They over there smiling and having a good old time right now, man. That mean a lot. That mean a lot to them. They liking that shit right now. They liking that shit. But yeah, me and Day are gonna wind up getting out of here, man. It's a hard hour, you know. We're gonna get up out of here, man. I actually want to watch that game. So hey, I appreciate all of y'all doing that, man. Going over there and tapping in with them, man. That was fire and shit. If you ain't doing that, man, go over there and just hang out with them. I'm about to go over there and hang out with them too. Know what I'm saying? So you got anything else you want to say, Dave, before we log out of here, man? Tell them about your stream and stuff tomorrow and all that good stuff.
Like I said, I'm gonna be on tomorrow night, probably about 6:50 Central Time, give or take a few minutes. The stream is already up there, so for anybody that's still left in our building, since you set them up all over there, hit that like button, both on the episodes for tonight and the episode for tomorrow, so we get it pushed out there, so we can have a few extra people in the chat. Regardless of how this goes, I'm gonna be there the whole game, giving my honest opinion. It's real, it's raw, and at times it's real raw. And at the end of it, hit me up with the sub here so that we can continue to grow this community. Also, last one, if you do not already subscribe to Vikings First and Skull, both on YouTube and your podcast aggregators like Spotify and iTunes, hit the subscribe button there as well, because we do over on First and Skull, we do a lot of the content that we do on YouTube, but we also have some online content only that is not on YouTube. So you're going to want to subscribe there as well.
Facts, man. Shout out to Day in the building, man. Shout out everybody who went over there, man, to Yogi and them stream too. I'm about to head over there right now and kick it with those fellas, man. You know what I mean? I'm going to kick it with them for a little while. You ain't got to stay all night, man. Just show them some love for a little while, man. You know, that's how we do as a community. Appreciate you, Gary. Appreciate you, Gary, man. Gary. Love you tapping in tonight, man. We missed you for a long time, man. But hey, Vikings, 49ers tomorrow. I'm going to be over there with Day tomorrow night. I ain't going to be on screen. I might tap in, though. You know, who knows? Who knows, man? He might text me the link. 3 hours is a long time. So anything can happen, man. R.A.P. might tap in for a second.
Well, don't you got to do your thing with SK?
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, damn. Man, y'all tap in, man, the PSF too at some point, man. But you know what I mean? We're gonna be over there holding it down.
We got two options for you. We got the PSF and you
bounce back and forth, man. Yeah, we're gonna be on the
exactly.
PSF, man. But Skull Vikings, man, I hope they surprise us. I hope we get the win. I'll be happy if we get the win, man. But if not, man, we'll put a notification out there between now and tomorrow night on when me and Day are gonna fit in our show rapping for days, because we ain't letting it go by without doing it. So we're gonna figure something out, man, and we'll keep y'all updated, man. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Stay tapped in with the Purple Gang, man. I'll at your boys.
Good night.